Shalom, brothers and sisters. This is Brother Malak from the 12 Tribes United. Today is the feast of destruction of Nicanor. All right, Nicanor. All right. So, what I'm gonna say as an introduction is, anytime we have a holy day, no matter if it's in the Bible or the Apocrypha, New Testament, Old Testament, it is considered a Sabbath. There's no exceptions to that rule. Solemn assembly, holy gathering. All right, convocation, all these words are another words for what? Sabbaths, meaning days of rest, days that you don't buy or sell or go to work. All right, if a Sabbath falls on a seventh day Sabbath, then you don't cook. But if this high holy day falls on a regular day during the week, you can cook. That's the only exception to the rule, besides the buying, the selling, the working. All right, so last night was the Feast of Nicanor. Feast of Destruction of Nicanor. It's a Sabbath. Hope you guys took off of work, because we're not to be working. We're going to go to the Apocrypha today in the book of 1 Maccabees 7. All right, going into what Nicanor is and what it represents. All right, so let's go to 1 Maccabees 7th chapter, verse 1. It says, in the 101 and 50th year, Demetrius, the son of Seleucus, departed from Rome, and came up with a few men unto a city of the sea coast, and reigned there. And as he entered into the palace of his ancestors, so it was that his forces had taken Antiochus and Lysias to bring them unto him. Wherefore he knew it, he said, let me not see their faces. So his host slew them. Now when Demetrius was set upon the throne of the kingdom, there came unto him all the wicked and ungodly men of Israel. So these are men that were wicked and ungodly, but they were Israelites, having alchemists who was desirous to be high priests for their captain. Now alchemists used to be a high priest, and because he was dallying with the Gentiles and being wicked, dealing with harlots, he got taken down from that position. All right. It says, and they accused the people to the king, saying, Judas and his brethren have slain all thy friends and driven us out of our own land. So they're saying that Judas, meaning Judas Maccabees, had he was killing all his friends, meaning those Edomites, those white people. It says, now therefore send me some man who thou trustest, and let him go and see what havoc he has made among us, and in the king's land, and let him punish them with all them that ate him. So they said that they wanted Judas to be punished, and all the men that were with Judas fighting against the Edomites, the so-called white people. All right. It says, now therefore, 7 and 8. Then the king chose Bacchus, a friend of the king, who ruled beyond the floor, and was a great man in the kingdom, and faithful to the king. And when he had sent with that wicked alchemist, whom he had made high priest, and commanded that he should take vengeance of the children of Israel. It says, and they departed and came with a great power in the land of Judea, when they sent messages to Judas and his brethren with peaceful words deceitfully. So they came to the land of Judea, and they sent messages to Judas, and they spoke peaceably. But we know they speak peaceably, but they really wanted to kill him. We read that earlier. We read that up above. It says, but they gave no heed for their words, but they saw they were come with a great power. So here it is, they come to speak peacefully to Judas and his brethren and the men that were fighting with him. And they came with all these people. So if you're speaking peacefully, why are you coming with all these people? All right. It says, and there did assemble unto Alchemists and Bacchus a company of scribes to require justice. Now, Alchemist was upset because he got taken down for the priesthood, so now he wanted vengeance upon the children of Israel. All right, now he was working with the so-called white man. All right, it says, now the Assyrians were the first among the children of Israel that sought peace for them. Now the Assyrians were a group of Israelites who kept the commandments. They didn't follow these wicked Israelites that followed the Gentiles, that followed the nations. All right, meaning in this case the nation is the Esau, the Edomites. This is where you get the word Hasidic Jew from. They're trying to say that those are those people, but they're not. All right? The Assyrians were the Israelites, so-called black people. All right? But the so-called, the fake Jews of today, the white people, the Russians, Germans that call themselves Jews today, Galatians 2:9, Galatians 3:9, they call themselves Hasidic, meaning they're trying to say that they're these people. All right? It says, for said they, one that is a priest of the seed of Aaron is come with his army, and he would do us no wrong. So they're saying, yeah, this man is from the seed of Aaron, and he won't do us any wrong. Obviously, Alchemist was from the seed of Aaron, seeing that he was high priest at one time. But he's a wicked man. Just because he's a seed of Aaron didn't make him righteous. All right? That's why in the New Testament we have a high priest from the tribe of Judah, Christ, because the priesthood, the priest of Aaron, a lot of them were wicked. They became wicked after a while. So we had to the Most High had to set up a new priesthood. It says, and he spoke unto them peacefully and swear unto them, saying, we will procure the harm neither of you nor your friends. It says, wherefore they believed him, howbeit he took of them 60 men and slew them in one day, according to the words which he wrote. So they accepted this priest. He said he's from the seed of Aaron, this wicked priest, Alchemist. And what did he do? He slew those men because they trusted him. It says, the flesh of the saints have they cast out, and their blood have he shed round about Jerusalem, and there were none to bury them. Wherefore the fear and dread of them fell upon all the people, who said, there is neither truth nor righteousness in them, for they have broken the covenant and the oath that they have made. So now our people were fearful because of what just happened. And they said there's no truth in them. And here it is, this man claimed to be a high priest, son of Aaron, and this is what he does to his own people. All right? And they removed Bechias from Jerusalem and pitched his tents in Bezrith, which he sent, and took many of the men that had forsaken him, and certain of the people also. And when he had slain them, he cast them into a great pit. Then committed he the company to Alchemist, and left with him a great power to aid him. So Bechias went to the king. But Alchemist contended for the high priesthood. So he fought for the high priesthood. He wanted the high priesthood, but he wanted the high priesthood under the so-called white man, under the Greeks that were in power at this time. All right, because our people didn't want him to be high priest anymore. They took him down because of his wickedness. All right, so this is why in the New Testament you have all these high priests and chief priests that set up. You know, they were set up by the Romans. It's like the Greeks started setting up the high priests. All right. So it says, and unto him resorted all such as troubled the people, whom after they had gotten the land of Judea into their power, did much hurt in Israel. Now when Judah saw all the mischief that Alchemists and his company have done among the Israelites, even above the heathen, meaning they did more, meaning Alchemists and his men did more wickedness to Israel than even the heathen. That's what that means. He went out to all the coasts of Judea round about, and took vengeance of them that had revolted from him, so that they durst no more go forth into the city. On the other side, when Alchemist saw that Judas and his company had gotten the upper hand, and he knew that he was not able to abide their force, he went again to the king and said all the worst of them that he could. So here it is, this wicked priest, this wicked Negro, he was losing against Judas. And he saw that Judas had too much power, so he went into the priest to speak evil, about our people, which is crazy, which is wickedness, because here it is, you an Israelite, and now you're siding with the heathen. All right. Then the king sent Nicanor, one of his honorable princes, a man that bare deadly hate unto Israel, with commandment to destroy the people. So who is Nicanor? Nicanor is from the lineage of Esau. All right, he would be a so-called white man of today. So he had much hate towards the children of Israel. So Nicanor came to Jerusalem with a great force, and sent unto Judas and his brethren deceitfully, with friendly words, saying. So Nicanor came to Jerusalem, and he spoke to Judas deceitfully. They said, "Let there be no battle between me and you. I will come with a few men, that I may see you in peace." So he said, "Let's end this battle. Let not there be a battle between us. All right, let's have peace." That's what he said. Now we already read that he hated our people, and that he wanted to destroy us all. It said, 29. He came therefore unto Judas and saluted one another peacefully. So he came to Jerusalem. He came to Judas and saluted him peacefully. Howbeit the enemies were prepared to take away Judas by violence. So they were prepared to take away Judas by what? By violence, meaning by force, meaning even if they had to kill him. It says, which thing after it was known to Judas, to wit, that he came unto them with deceitful, and he was sore afraid of them, and he would see his face no more. Nicanor also, when he saw that his counsel was discovered, went out to fight against Judas, besides kept har salama. All right. So here it is. Judas knew what Nicanor was up to, and Nicanor knew that Judas knew what he was up to. All right. That secret, they didn't have, that secret came out. All right. So let's go to 32. When he had slain all of Nicanor's side, about 5,000 men, and the rest fled into the city of David. After this went Nicanor up to Mount Zion, and there came out of the sanctuary certain of the priests and certain of the elders of the people to salute him peacefully, and to show him the burnt offering that was offered for the king. So when Nicanor went up to Mount Zion, I mean, Mount Zion is where? Mount Zion is Jerusalem. When he went up there, you know, the elders and the priests and the captains, with certain elders, they went to salute Nicanor. It says, but he mocked them and laughed at them and abused them shamefully, and spake proudly, and sware in his wrath, saying, unless Judas and his brother and his host be now delivered into my hands, if I come in again safely, I will burn up this house. And with that he went out with a great rage. So Nicanor said, unless you give up Judas, we're going to burn this temple, meaning burn his house, meaning burn his temple, house of the Most High. And he left. He was angry. That's what it means, great rage. It says, then the priests entered in and stood before the altar in the temple, weeping and saying, thou, O Lord, didst choose this house to be called thy name, and this house shall be a house of prayer and petition for thy people. So after they was told this, you know, by Nicanor, they went and wept and cried unto the Most High, all right, to save their temple. Be avenged of this man and his host, and let them fall by the sword. Remember their blasphemies, and suffer them not to continue any longer. So he told the Most High to avenge, you know, to fight against this man, to kill him. It says, so Nicanor went out of Jerusalem and pitched his tent in Beth Horon, where he host out of Syria met him. When the host out of Syria met him. It says, and this is 7:40, but Judas pitched in Adas with 3,000 men, and he prayed, saying, O Lord, when they were sent from the king of the Assyrians, blasphemed thy angel went out and smote 180 and 5,000 of them. That 80 is 185,000. All right. It says, even so, so Judas was reminding the Most High what he did when the Assyrians came against us. Even so, destroy thou this host before this day, that the rest may know he hath spoken blasphemy against thy sanctuary, and judge thou him according to thy wickedness, according to his wickedness. So the 13th day of the month Adar, the host joined battle, but Nicanor's host was discomfited, and he himself was first slain in battle. All right, so Nicanor this is 13th day of the month of Adar. All right, this video is ending. I'm going to say shalom. We're going to continue. We stopped at 43. All right, shalom.